Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. Good morning. It is January 16th. Aha, wait a second. Today's Thursday, January 16th, 2020. I have sound. Let me do that. Good morning. We have Jay from the In the Conspiracy Channel joining me as co-host today. And we have a special guest this morning, Atheist Pastor Chris from the Atheist Pastor Channel.
G'day, everyone.
Good morning, gentlemen. I've been telling the people who watch us that you were going to be here and that you talked funny. I was not wrong. They should not be disappointed.
No, I think you North American lot that sound a bit strange to me, but that's okay. I'll let it pass.
You know, I'm a little surprised that your picture is right side up. Did you make that digitally go right side up?
What you've got to remember is the Earth's actually flat and Australia doesn't exist. So I'm actually coming to you from an island off South America.
Yeah, I suspected this whole time. Yeah, it was the smell. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Raven. Good morning, Raven. She was right about twins. She got me about twins, or the possibility that it could be twins. I didn't realize that about Cain and Abel. She learned me something yesterday. I got smarter right here in front of God and everybody. And they saw it. Math Pig, good morning. He, again with the Math Pig, he's been in trouble. I don't know. You are aware of Math Pig, right? Chris?
I know we have to blame Math Pig.
Yeah, blame Math Pig. Yep.
Blame Math Pig. There we go. He probably, the endorphins now are flowing. Let's see who else we got going in here. Nerdy Rodent. Good morning, Nerdy. Hi, Nerdy. Hi, Jen from Jen's Little Corner. Nice to see you. They're here this morning. Randy El Matho Pego. You didn't know I spoke Spanish, did you? See, I'm multi-talented. And Joseph Blue. I don't know if he's still here. Gatheist and Joseph were here earlier, and they were visitating as well. So good morning, everybody. It's nice to have you. We were sitting here visitating about the things that go on over in Australia as far as politics and stuff like that. If you want to finish your thought, because I interrupted you, you're welcome to. Or we could start talking about, because you're new to the show, and we can go ahead and get a little bit of introduction about you. Can you tell us, or would you mind going into kind of your history, what got you where you are? And then I'll get more questions.
Talk about politics, you'd probably lose most of your viewers because people hate politics and people probably have no idea about Australian politics as it is. On my show, I do a little bit of that, and every time Jay's on, I sort of see him sort of glaze over and go, here we go again. So I'll
That's usually the time I start interacting with the chat more.
Yeah, which is great. It's whenever we need someone to talk with the chat, all right, let's start talking politics, and then that way Jay can sort that one out. So, let's go for us. But yeah, look, I guess to give you the very quick overview. So I'm also Chris. I go by Atheist Pastor, and the reason I go by Atheist Pastor is because I'm a former religious leader, Christian religious leader, and they always prophesied over me that I was going to be a pastor. I did the Bachelor of Theology. I say I did that. I didn't complete it. I got out before I finished it, but I did theology, Bachelor of Ministry, with the intention of becoming a pastor. And look, I'm someone who I don't like to let prophecy down. So I thought, well, I am going to be the pastor. I'm just going to be the atheist pastor.
There you go.
So that's where the name comes from. A lot of people wonder about that. But look, I came to Christianity, I guess, later than most in life. I got born again in my early 20s. I was sort of looking for something and found it, and then spent a good part of probably, if I were to guess, around about sort of 12, 13 years, very, very much entrenched in it all, before eventually sort of realizing that no, it's garbage. I read the Bible as I was studying it, and there were a lot of things I couldn't reconcile that sort of forced me to look into, and from there I became the heathen that I proudly am today.
There you go.
But I guess why I do what I do, I guess, I've got a YouTube channel, and I'm sort of fairly active socially as well. I'm a big believer. I have a bit of a guilt complex because I was very good on the evangelical side of things. I bring a lot of people to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of guilt for that, and I guess I want to kind of reverse a lot of that. But I also understand how difficult it can be for people who are in religion to make that transition out of religion, and especially in Australia, where we're such an atheistic nation that we don't have the same support structures that you guys would have in the US, for instance. So that's part of, well, that's why I do what I do. I just want to help as many people transition out of religion as possible and help to make that as easy and as comfortable as possible. It's help them still have that social connection, even though it's online as opposed to going to a church. Help people understand errors in the Bible, answer questions, and just generally have conversations with people.
That's great. Yeah. How long have you? When did you say? How long was it? Have you been the Atheist Pastor?
So I set up the YouTube channel. So I've been out of religion for realistically, I came out about 18 months ago.
Okay.
I'd been out, but I just sort of stopped going to church and a few different things. But I didn't actually come out and say, hey, I am an atheist and do it publicly until 18 months ago. But I've been running my YouTube channel, and I guess I've had the online stuff happening for probably about 2 months.
Okay, that was my next question. How long you been doing that?
Yeah, about 2 months. I'd have to double check that. It's time flies when you're having fun. So,
well, let's get a shameless plug in for you here. Can you tell you say you have 2 different shows running now? Can you tell us about those so people who are watching can go check them out?
Everything's over on my channel, which is a really easy one. It's youtube.com/atheist pastor. So we've got Friday Night Six Pack, which is basically, it's a bit of a community event, I call it. So it's where we call it Six Pack because it's a Friday night for us. So Friday morning for those of you who are at time disadvantaged in the US back in the past. So what we do is we start by having a serious conversation. It's a bunch of Aussies, and Jay's always there as well. Jay's an honorary Aussie.
Honorary.
Absolutely. Awesome. So, and we'll normally have a couple of drinks, and normally about an hour or two into it, as the drinks are sort of getting us a little bit looser, it can devolve into anything. So, but it's always a good fun time. It's always a good community space. So, but we do go over some serious. We always have a theme. We always have a serious topic to go over. The other one I do is a show that's just started. We've only got 1 episode down. It's called Never Discuss Politics, which is where we talk about politics and what I do is a variety of different voices. We mainly go over Australian politics. We will touch on American stuff sometime, but American politics are so very different to, I guess, the rest of the world. And what's, I guess, right in some countries is left in America, and it's all a bit sort of, you guys are a bit topsy-turvy with your politics. So
yeah, as I hear you talk about it, I'm like, what, the words coming out of your mouth, I understand, but you're not applying them correctly.
Well, that's it. Well, our right-wing party, as I was saying before, is the Liberal Party. So,
but they're also the Conservatives, right?
Well, they're the conservative.
See, all right. So the Liberals are the Conservatives on their right-wing party. So it's like saying the red and the blue are the both. Yeah. See, that's just the word.
I'll really confuse you here. So our right-leaning party, which is the Liberal Party, is blue, and our left-leaning party, which is the Labor Party, is red.
Okay, so the Labor Party, from my perspective, would be the good guys looking out for the little guy, and the Liberal Party is the corporate people looking out for business.
To an extent, it's in
not
Australia,
the same.
Yeah, we're a lot more centrist. So it's we had a bit of a joke at one point where our Prime Minister, who was in the right-leaning party, and we had the opposition leader who is in the left-leaning party, and the joke was they were both in the wrong party. They were both that far, towards the centre that we actually said, well, hang on, the Prime Minister should probably be in the Labor Party, and the opposition leader should probably be in the Liberal Party, because we're a lot more centrist with our politics. So we do discuss, because I am right-leaning. I'm right-leaning in Australia, but I think, as I was saying to you earlier, if I was in the US, I'd probably be a Democrat. But in Australia, it's a different setup. But it's I find that there isn't really a voice for people who are on the right in atheism. So I just want to provide, I guess, that safe place and that community that people can come to and realize that, it's atheism doesn't need to be a political bubble on one side. There are a lot of different views. So we've got that. And then the third program, which I'm about to launch, it's what I'm calling Social Issues 101. I haven't worked out exactly what it's going to be, but I remember when I was getting out of religion, there was a lot of concepts that I struggled with. So trans issues is a big one. I never had any issue with trans people, but I didn't, because I'd been in that religious bubble, I didn't understand the issues, and I didn't understand why the fights were happening, what it was all about. And I'm still learning so much. So even today, I was having a conversation with a friend, and I learned so much today. And it's just, this is things that people who are getting out of religion don't understand because they've been stuck in that bubble. So I'm working on that concept at the moment. So it's going to be a bit of a social issues 101. But look, mainly my channel's about community. Pretty much everything I do is live stream, and it's just about having conversations with people.
Gotcha. Well, one of the things that I would recommend, I think it would be very entertaining for you, because I'm doing it myself. It's one of those things. I'm doing a series of Bible studies videos where I look at the Bible and I don't know, have you seen my Evil God Monster of Abraham series?
I haven't actually. I've got it in my. I've actually got it in my watch later list though.
Yeah, they're short videos, 6 to 12 minutes long, that kind of thing, and they go over the Bible and how I've been calling the evil God monster of Abraham for years, and I've been calling the Bible the book of death. And now I'm doing a video series justifying why I do that. And I start from the very beginning, chapter by chapter. You having so much experience with the Bible.
Yeah, I do have some plans to do some stuff like that down the track. I'm probably just still trying to get a few things in place. But I think with my background with, I guess, theology and ministry, I think
absolutely
for me to do at some point, or even maybe jump on with other people and help contribute to their stuff, because if I wasted all those years studying the bloody Bible, I may as well use it for some form of good.
Right. See, that's great.
Just a couple quick things before we get too far off. There's a couple things in the chat I wanted to go over real quick. KCA Randy wants to know, is the right in Australia tied to religion like the United States is?
No. Yeah, he already mentioned that to me earlier beforehand, how strange it was for
pretty much, most politicians will identify as being religious, even though we've probably got about 10% of the population is actually church-going Christians. Look, our Prime Minister is a very much an out and proud Christian. But that being said, it doesn't. Some would probably argue with me, and I've got a political bias, but it doesn't really affect his politics.
Which side is he on? Is he on the right?
See,
is he a liberal?
He's a liberal.
See, so the more, or you're liberal, I'm conservative.
Yeah, but then the opposition leader, who's in the Labor Party, the Labor Party's tied in with traditionally was tied in with the Catholic Church, so he's a Catholic. But we have had an atheist prime minister.
Was she right or left?
She was on the left.
See, just like here. If the more left you are, as far as atheist and right, if you've got a politician who's really religious, he's on the right here.
The last prime minister we had before this one, he was on the right as well. He was an atheist, but he just sort of kept it quiet, I guess. But he's the one I was joking that he was probably in the wrong party anyway.
Yeah. Jay, did you have another one? I don't mean to go off.
I got a couple more, just a couple real quick here. Where'd I go? Well, Nerdy Rodent says America is backwards. That's true. Where is it? Yeah. There it is. Nerdy Rodent again. A fresh atheist just baked. And then Jen says you can say your name. I'm not sure what that was referring to, but Jen. She says you can say my name.
Say my name.
Oh, okay, yeah. The person I was discussing those issues with was Jen. I didn't want to say because it was a private conversation, but I've actually learned a lot from Jen about trans issues. They're just things that it's even just in the way that we talk to people and terms that we use, that it just would never have occurred to me. So it's something I am being as mindful as I can, because I think it's just a general respect issue, but it's also something that people who are getting out of religion just don't understand, and I think there's, especially when they jump into a new community and they might say something that will greatly offend someone without actually meaning to greatly offend someone.
Right. Right. Hey, I'm sorry, Randy. I thought, and I could be wrong because I don't keep up with the guy, but I thought Mayor Pete was an atheist. The guy, Pete Buttigieg, he's gay, he's politician. Are we talking about the same guy? I thought he was an atheist. Am I wrong? I may be wrong. I don't keep up with him. I'm just kind of going, sorry. Me and Randy was responding to something that I said earlier about if you're more likely to be an atheist if you're on the left than if you're really religious, you're more likely to be on the right. So on the left, we have politicians, and 90% of them are going to, just like you said earlier, identify as religious. They're just not going to really throw it into their politics like the right will. No. So 90% of them are religious. Some of them aren't. So I'm not really. If you have an atheist politician, though, my bet is I would say that they're liberal. Not your kind of liberal, real liberals. Liberal means freedom, not whatever they mean.
We call them little L liberals and big L liberals, because so the big L liberals are like our Liberal Party because it has a big L in it,
Mhm.
and the little L liberals are just normal liberals, I guess, from your kind of liberal.
Gotcha. Normal liberals, right?
We'll go with that.
So,
from a political point of view, political science point of view.
so
Yeah.
one more thing from the chat. Nerdy Rodent says Jen is awesome, and she really is. She's been having a rough day, so this huggles out to Jen.
Jen, the hugs we get.
yeah.
Yeah.
On mega hugs.
Yeah, big huggles for Jen. And that's about all I've got from the chat. The only question I've got for you, Chris, I don't know if I ever asked you in the many times we've talked, what denomination were you?
Pentecostal.
That Chris.
Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Chris. this one right here.
Australian Pentecostal, which is slightly different to American. It's almost like a mixture of your Pentecostal plus a bit of Southern Baptist. It's very charismatic. Are you guys familiar with Hillsong? Like they put a lot of the music out.
I've heard about. Didn't the guy go?
I only know about Hillsong because of you and Jen.
Didn't the guy, one of the main music makers for that group, go atheist recently? I think.
Yeah. He did the atheist jump, but it's sort of that's been a bit of a weird thing. He's doing the angry atheist phase at the moment. So I tried to reach out to him, but I haven't had any luck there. But they're well, I think.
Well, I get the whole what you mean by the angry atheist and being aggressive as an atheist, but when you're under attack, what do you do? And some of his is because he's under attack.
He was never under attack in Australia.
No. So whenever he came out as atheist, you're saying the Christian trolls did not pounce on him on social media.
Not really. It's he came out and then he started posting a lot of anti-religion stuff. Right. So he kind of created his own problem there a little bit. And look, that's purely from and I was there. I remember when I first came out and said, "Hey, I'm atheist," and the next thing I know, every second day I'm at my old friends and sort of saying, you got to get out. It's all crap. It's this, and sending them things. And now I take a step back and just go, okay, that was a phase, and clearly that's part of the transition. And that's another thing I need to help when they transition out. Say, hey, here's what's about to happen. No.
Yeah, some people have been oppressed for a long time, and whenever they finally break free of that oppression and somebody tries to bring it back at them again, they'll lash out. Like the parent who, despite always smothering them with the religion, now the child is finally grown up and has moved on from the religion, but now mom wants to come over and bring up Christ and try to pray at their dinner, and then start, and causing problems.
Absolutely.
But the atheists are the ones often labeled as the angry people. We're angry. But a lot of what that's in my experience, that's a lot of what it is. It's not action; it's reaction.
Yeah, probably different countries. It's different outcomes as well.
We're really religious here.
Yeah, whereas 10% of people go to a Christian church in Australia, and of those, probably half of them are just sitting in a Catholic church or a Anglican church, basically pew warming. So we are a strong religious country here, even though the religions, because people put on on the census that they're Catholic or Anglican as a traditional thing, the religions do get probably more power than really they should be entitled to.
Gotcha.
But different. I think different countries. It's even though we're very similar, culturally, there's not a lot of difference between Australia and the US. But there's still, I think, when it comes to religious and social issues, I think we're almost worlds apart.
Right. Oh yeah. There are some things that just in the descriptions and trying to explain to me what's going on in your politic. It just in the description, it's clear. That there's a difference. I saw
Nerdy Rodent put Jedi Australians for the win. That was actually something that happened a few censuses ago, about 10 years ago. There was a movement on to get Jedi recognised as an actual religion in Australia. So everyone just put on the census that they were a Jedi, and Jedi is actually technically a recognised religion in Australia.
That's wonderful. See, here we have the
atheists tried to stop it the last time, saying, "Hey, if you put that down, that just helps religion. Just tick non-religious."
yeah. Here they have the colander. You know, they take photographs down at the DMV with their colander on their head, and what's that?
Yeah, the Pastafarians.
Yes.
Pastafarian, yeah.
Yep, a lot of fun there. There we go. See, I remember hearing about the Jedi thing. To me, it just kind of depends. I don't mind. I think that stuff is cool and fun until people stop giving their child medicine for their diabetes because they were trying to use the Force and the midichlorians in their body to heal the child. When that shit starts, that's when I'm out, and it's no longer cute. And that's what we have with religion. And that's what I have a different series of videos. Some of them are directly about the harm religion does. And, one of them is called Faith Kills and stuff like that. And it's where people do exactly that.
I mean, there's no actual recognized Jedi church as such. It's more just that's just people having a laugh. And it was a bit of it's almost like
right. No, totally. I totally get that. I love
what you're saying, and there should be. It's always baffled me that the rights of children have never trumped the rights of religion. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses and blood transfusions are a great example. Like letting your child die to appease a god. That's ridiculous. And it shouldn't be allowed. It should be illegal. As much of a libertarian as I am, that ain't on.
Right. Well, I did one video where there was this family who allowed a man. It was what they did actually was that their first child had an allergic reaction to the mother, something. I don't know the medicals of it, but the nursemaid and all these people tried to warn her to take the baby to the doctor. She refused and prayed over the baby. They prayed over the baby. When the baby passed, they had more people come over to the baby and pray to resurrect the baby. Okay. So then they get arrested and they have to go to jail for all that stuff. Joseph, there's I see he mentioned Satanic Temple. That's a question for Atheists. All right, so and then a little while later, I think she was even still on trial or going through the stuff for that or whatever, they did it again. They had another baby, and it too had the same problem. And she was prepared to let that baby die until somebody actually stepped in. She was willing to sit there. Those people shouldn't be allowed to have children. Yeah. Should not be allowed to have. How many, but how many children, and this is the question, this is the fun question for the group. Please post your answers. How many children should they be allowed to murder in such fashion before we determine that they shouldn't be allowed to have children? Just 1, 0, yeah. But now if we say 0, then we have to go through picking out who do we think is going to be the person. Now we become religious oppressor. You know what I mean? Now we're going through and actually forcing.
I think where there's cases, I think where people are going to, and I guess this is where intervention comes in, because you're not always going to know what's going on behind closed doors. But if you're a doctor and you've got someone who's refusing to give their child medical treatment,
right? Absolutely.
Then no, at that point, the rights of the parents are out the door. The only thing that worries me there is then you'll have parents who won't take their children to get medical treatment out of a fear of medical treatments they don't want being forced. Right. But I think there has to be a sensible conversation about how we overcome that as a society. And I think that's an issue that you guys would have in the US. It's certainly one that we have had in Australia in the past.
Well, with one of the videos I did where it was associated, because there was 2 different videos. I think I don't know if I did them both, but one of them, they brought it back after the thing, and the judge made a ruling, and they did it into law. Forgive me for not remembering exactly, but the deal was that they had to make it known that it was legal in that state for parents to deny medical assistance to their children. Yeah, as part of their faith. Now this is the state where they actually have a church up there, and they've got a graveyard full of babies because, so a lot of that hasn't even come to light yet. Yeah, I'm sure
it's disgraceful. It's
let me real quick. Somebody was asking you. I had it popped up there a second ago. Don't tell me. Somebody up there was asking you about. Oh, there we go. Satanic Temple in Australia. How's that going?
It's not really here. It's there isn't a chapter in Australia. I did actually look it up. There isn't a chapter in Australia yet. I'd imagine it will come, but yeah, nothing at this stage.
Gotcha.
But an Australian can join and become a member of the Satanic Temple.
I'm sure. Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
So if you don't mind, I got a couple things in the chat here. We'll go over real quick. Remember, Sammy Jenkins says, "Oh my God, I had that exact same conversation today with Christians. I used the Force as an analogy." And then you showed the Labman 27 is official pastor of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Cost him $20. Money well spent. Nerdy says ethical veganism is a philosophical belief in the UK. I am Raven. A lot of anti-vaxxers don't feel that way. They do because of religion is fear of the government is poisoning people and introducing brainwashing drugs.
Okay, right.
So, and then the only other thing I got is Nerdy said, I liked one thing from a book on Wicca when I was a child. Do what thou wilt so long as you harm no other.
Yeah. One thing. Okay, there you go. And see, that goes way back. Those types of little tidbits of general knowledge, you can find that in ancient Egyptian stuff. You can find that everywhere. Every culture that, someday at one point they went, this is bad. Hurting people is bad, or doing this. You'll find little tidbits of that. Be nice to each other. It's not like that's a golden thing that only Wiccas had a corner on. Not that I'm trying to downplay what Nerdy Rodent said at all. I'm just saying, because Christianity, the reason why I say that is because Christianity often comes off that way. Christianity is the fountain from which morality sprouts. If you do something good, it's because of Christianity. If something good happens in the world.
Generally, people who aren't familiar with the actual writings and teachings in the Christian Bible.
What's that say again?
Into the realistically, from a moralistic point of view, and I know morals are subjective, but I think as a society, we've got a pretty good understanding of right and wrong. The stuff in the Bible is horrendous.
It absolutely is. Yeah.
The worship of a mass murdering egomaniac who even when they go, Christians always say to me, the 10 Commandments are good. And I go, the first 3 are about God and how he needs to be worshipped and love no one else.
Which set of 10 Commandments, by the way? We should always, when they say the 10 Commandments, most people presume they mean that one.
The ones
I'm sorry?
The Exodus 20 ones.
Right. That's the one they always assume we're going to talk about. But there's actually 2. There's 2 different sets of 10 Commandments.
There's the Levitical law. Which is,
and a lot of people, it's not actually 10 Commandments. All right, so this is something that I need to kind of, pardon me, damp lung. So Moses brought the people up into the mountain, and the word of God appeared in smoke and said, this commandment and this commandment and this commandment. And he got to 10, and the people became afraid and backed away from the mountain. Well, wait. And then God continued, and he went thump and thump and thump and continued until there's like 600. Or
627, isn't there?
So they go 10 commandments. There ain't 10 commandments. It's a whole bunch, and there's like number 9 or 19 or something is, if you come across a man and he worships another god, you destroy him. These kind of things are in those commandments.
Fabrics. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And don't wear mixed fabrics.
Right, exactly. I'm not sure if those are the same, but it probably is the same book. For some reason, every time you and I talk at the same time, it just kills your mic. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because I'm on the other side of the planet. We've probably got about a few second delay. So it happens in a lot of streams I do where I'll be talking and I'll start talking over the top, or vice versa.
No, it's just I can't hear you at all. Your sound goes away when I start speaking. Your mic gets muted for some reason. That's unusual. Okay. No, on my end when I hear. Just weird. I'm sorry. Maybe a reboot will fix it. Reboots fix a lot. Pardon me. Carry on. So yeah, the 10 Commandments. As far as all that, there we go. Thank you for subscribing. Somebody subscribe. Yeah. So that's the reality of the situation. God was spewing out these commandments, and he just paused. The author of the story paused at 10 to tell you that the people got afraid and backed away. And then if you go read the book, they continue on. It's not,
kind of. So the 10. are the main ones that were given. So all the laws were given to Moses up on the mountain. So he came down with the tablets that had the 10 main ones there, and he got down and saw that they, after spending 40 years in the desert, being fed by God and seeing God on a daily basis, they ditched him after a week for a golden calf. But
right.
Yeah.
Hathor, by the way, we've mentioned that a couple of times, how the golden calf was actually Hathor from the Egyptian religion.
Then the rest of the you've got the there's some more laws in Exodus that get mentioned, but it's Leviticus and Deuteronomy that generally lay out the laws, the traditions, the rules, and a lot of it is tied in with a lot of the more traditional side of things, like how to slaughter a goat in the correct manner and each like that.
How much to sell your daughter for, that sort of thing. Well, when your son,
I believe it's 30 shekels. 30 shekels.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, actually, it depends on whether she's a virgin or not. So
no, wait. My daughter she's got like a doctorate in pharmacology, so we should get at least 60 shekels for her.
Well, possibly, but I mean, what good's that going to do? Because women can't work. I mean, that's just crazy.
It'd be hard. We should put her in like a burqa or something. We'll get that. We'll work on that. I'm sure she would club me like a baby harp seal when she hears I'm talking about this sort of.
Jesus told you that's what has to happen.
Yeah. Well, Jesus said it has got to be true. One thing I like is that I've been talking to some of these people, and the way they present. I had a debate with a Christian, and we were talking about the Trinity, and I was like, well, if Jesus and God are the same person, then Jesus killed babies. And he's like, yes, and Jesus killed babies. That's just kind of, or he was like this part of it, and that's fine. I was like, that's the first time I've heard a Christian just kind of be okay with that.
Yeah, and you'll get two types. You get the ones that just go, oh no, well and they'll start to do the gymnastics about, well, it means this, and you've got to look at it this way. And then you'll get some who are just very much, yeah, that's it. I don't understand it, but
yeah. Let me go here, get some of these up. Yep. I wish I could make it to where, and it may be possible where I can make it to where Jay over there could pop up some of these, since he's reading the thing, as he was doing. There we go. Get some of these up. Math Pig. I was trying to get through all of Richard's stuff on Enoch, but yeah, I saw some of the stuff over there on that. Sorry, Math Pig. Wait. Let me do this.
Blame Math Pig.
So now when he says a quick synopsis, don't believe him. It's a trap. All right, sorry, Chris. Carry on.
I was about to say we have a tradition in Australia that's called taking the piss, and we do it to our mates, which is where we basically torment our friends. We'll give them a hard time, and Americans, especially when they come over and they see Australians in a pub having a conversation, they all think we hate each other, but it's just what we do with our mates. And I just want to say that there's a lot of taking the piss out of poor Matt Big here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's good that you're all keeping up with this Australian tradition.
Yes, yeah. Well, we kind of had to. He started it. In fact, was it you? It was Math Pig, because I was talking about the way he and Lucy were kind of going at each other one night. I'm like, look at them, And then he said, "No, we're just taking the piss or something." And I'm like, "Really? That's a special category on Pornhub."
You Australian, Math Pig?
No, he's Irish.
He's Welsh.
Well,
he's not Welsh. He's not Welsh. He doesn't like sheep.
It's more of a love kind of thing.
Apologies to any Kiwis out there.
What
you apologize to a Kiwi? Really?
Not really. No.
That doesn't sound right.
What's that?
I'd be giving it to the Kiwis all day. They deserve it. We've actually got a policy in Australia where if a Kiwi does something that's really good, or it's something that's top shelf, we adopt them as an Australian. If they do something bad, they're still a Kiwi. So Russell Crowe, he's a great Australian actor, but he's a terrible Kiwi musician.
I see. There you go. Mathpig says he claims to be from Northern Ireland.
To be sure.
I don't know if you want to believe him or not, because this is Math Pig. You can't trust the filthy Irish. Sorry. Sorry, Math Pig.
That'd be fighting words.
Yeah.
Well, Mathpig, you'll be happy to know, and I know it's the different part of Ireland, but I'm actually enjoying a Jamison's Irish whiskey at the moment, which is I do prefer the Irish whiskies at the moment, and I'll be cheering for Conor McGregor very, very loudly on Sunday
Cowboy.
for me, for everyone else.
Cowboy.
Okay, see that now that's where I know the fighting words are going to be going on, because that's what he was saying. Cowboy's going to win, and you know what? Obviously, I don't even follow the stuff, the MMA. So naturally, I don't want to drag the channel into it. But after it's over, obviously, we're going to have to talk about it, because Jay and you guys have been going on about it.
You're pretty convinced on Cowboy. I mean, do we get a bet? I mean, what can we wager here?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what. Everyone in the chat, give us some suggestions for what we can. I'm saying Conor McGregor wins. No issues. Jay's he's on the Cowboy bandwagon, and only one of it. Well, actually, it could be a draw, but that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, I don't see it coming as a draw. Someone's getting knocked out, either knocked out or submitted.
No, those two are going 5 rounds. It'll be round 1 knockout.
Now, see, I think it's going to go early round 2.
Yeah,
I think it's going to go early round 2.
I just remember when Conor fought Jose Aldo, and
yeah, that was lucky. I mean, I like Conor. Do not get me wrong. I love Conor McGregor. The way he fights, he's really good at what he does. I was talking to Raven about it yesterday. I think he's going to get into Conor's head.
I don't know. They've all been very nice to each other in the press conventions. So
I meant in the fight, not in the press conference in the head, because you're not going to get into Conor's head in the
precision beats power. Anyway, I think we're kind of deviating, and I can see Chris is
Mathpig has got a suggestion. I've posted it up on the screen. Volunteering time on a channel. So if you lose, you got to volunteer time on another person's stream. Let's see if anybody else has put any suggestions in.
Well, I'm always on his.
Clearly,
I'm always on yours, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, clearly people are taking sides very passionately. See, I am Raven. I think she's probably right. She sounds wise. She corrected me. She corrected me the other day.
Ridiculously good taste in men too.
What's that?
I've heard that Raven has very good taste in men.
I haven't heard that. That's not what I've heard, in fact.
It's truer than Jesus. we shouldn't say much, but apparently that's the case. Yeah.
So we use say shrimp on a Barbie for us, even though we don't. We used to say it a few times. Do it like what's his name? Wasn't he a Kiwi?
Hogan.
Crocky. No.
Paul Hogan.
Oh no!
Come on over. We're waiting for you. I'll put a shrimp on the Barbie.
Right, there you go. Well, Mathpig, I did a thing. Mathpig, you ought to show me the thing whenever I did the thing for you. I want to see how that works out with the whole introduction thing. We'll get to that. Sorry. Okay, so spaced violence. Sometimes I go to click something and it moved. It wiggled on its own. Okay, so Champions League. All right, so when does this big fight happen, ladies?
Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
So 8 o'clock Saturday night.
Yeah.
What's going on? Something is going on 8 o'clock Saturday night.
My stream's at 9. And then so it's going to probably run into the first the only other fight I want to see on there is Holly Holm and Raquel Pennington.
Well, that'll be a good fight. Yeah,
that's going to be a good fight too. But mind
you always get some really good undercard fights.
A lot of times, the undercards, a lot of sleepers in the undercards.
Hey, I just need to break in early. Nerdy, we understand it's prawn. We actually established that yesterday. We were just kind of having fun with it today, because even before this show today, we did again. Me and because he talks funny, Chris, we discussed that. So that's why I was like, even though it's wrong, go ahead and say it for us, because that's where it comes from. Yeah,
that's all right. If you want me to say put a shrimp on the Barbie, I'm happy to fill that cultural stereotype for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Just don't call him a Kiwi.
Kiwi. Because that's the choice.
Thank you, Mathpig. I have an intro. Actually, yeah, I'm going to have Math Pig is going to be here hosting with me Saturday, and we're going to have somebody else. And then I want to get some more information from Math Pig. He's got some, he's been doing it longer, and he knows how to use StreamYard and Streamlabs together and kind of get the best of both worlds. And I would like to do that. So I want to be, remember you and I earlier were talking about creator exchange of information and ideas, and Math Pig is one of the people thinking about that as well. So
I'd love to chat to you about that at some point, Math Pig. And I promise not to blame you for anything.
I'll tell you what, if Math Pig and I actually do the little stream that I was telling you about where we kind of, then I'll shoot you an invite.
Yeah, get me on that one. Yeah.
Later, Randy. Thank you for stopping by. Good morning. Have a great day. Be safe.
Atheist. I love my burgers and my guns. Merca.
Right. I love my guns, my sister.
Yeah, I've got to say that if there's one difference between Australia and America, you guys and guns, like seriously.
Man, I tell you.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Well, a long time ago, England got tired of these degenerates and they kicked them all out, all the small-minded folk, and they sent them to Alabama. And Georgia was colonized by prisoners, much like Australia.
It's only because you guys had a revolution and they had to send you somewhere. So, but funny enough, you know that guns are the reason that you guys drive on the wrong side of the road.
Is that it? Really? Why is that?
So the reason, in the UK and Australia, we drive on the left side of the road, and traditionally it's always been the left side because when you have a sword and you're striking with your sword,
yes,
on the left hand side to strike with your right hand. Whereas if you've got a gun. And that's why we have different sides of the roads. So guns are why you drive on the right side of the road, even though it's the wrong side of the road.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit. I would naturally want to, as a person of fact, I would want to look up that. But I think that's a wonderful. I always heard that it was the thing to show peace, because if you pass on the right, like you were saying, your sword hand is on this side. So the reason why we do it on the left is to show peace. But what about us says anything about peace at all? Nothing.
It's absolutely.
We spell peace with blood-stained letters.
Well,
and if you don't believe we're peaceful, we'll come kill you to prove it.
I actually need to correct you on that, Chris. The reason why we hold the sword on the left side is so your right hand is free to show that your opponent that you're not being violent towards them.
That's what I said.
So, is it? And it didn't sound like it. It might have been, but it didn't sound like it. It's also that's why you salute with the right hand. It's so you're not showing any aggression towards the other person. You might have said it. I might have heard it wrong. I was trying to keep up with the chat at the same time.
No, I get you. Yeah. Well, it was to show peace, that you're not going to attack them.
No, it's a safety thing. So it's not necessarily against other people, but say in the States there, where if you've got a bear running at you, you want to be able to shoot it.
No, I want to be able to turn off the television. That's as close to a bear as I want to get. Oh, that's scary. Sorry. Have you ever seen the Street Fighter from back in the 80s? They're watching this. They're in this tent and they're watching a CCTV camera, and the camera is showing a big burning bus coming down towards the tent. And this Russian guy goes, "Quick, change the channel."
Like, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah.
Very, very, very famous Australian in that movie. So the female lead in it is Kylie Minogue, who anyone who's in the UK, she's worshipped as a goddess in the UK. Yeah. She's more popular than Jesus. Probably the biggest Australian export we had in the 80s.
She's just another singer.
But then you had to give us your other export.
Yeah, and you can keep him.
No, we don't want him.
Well, no. What about isn't it Charlize Theron?
She's South African.
Oh, that's right.
From South
You're
Africa.
Right. You're right. My bad. You're right. True.
But Thor.
Okay, screw her then.
No.
Well,
good Charlize. Good girl.
No, I do. I love her. She's wonderful. But if she's not an Aussie, get her the hell out. No, Aussies only.
Well, we sent you the Hemsworths, so Yeah,
you did.
That's true.
Did you send them or did we take them?
Actually, they live in Australia, so I probably should.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Go over. Most of the American movies are made here now. Thor was made in Australia with a Kiwi director. So,
oh, I see. Well, I actually enjoy the Russell Crowe movies. Oh, as a matter of fact, we went here to the Pope Joy Hall to see Les Miserables, and I couldn't hear nothing. It's the first time I'd ever had nothing. I look over at the wife and she's in tears. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So we get home and I watch it on the interwebs with on the computer with, the Australian and the Wolverine,
Hugh Jackman.
And man, I loved it. I loved it. I just wonderful. That's been like 2.5 years later. I still listen to it on the way to sing the songs. Love it.
Actually, I've just realized something, that it seems to be a bit of a running trend over there in the States, that whenever you guys need an action hero, you get an Aussie bloke.
Right.
I'm good with it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've got a few. We've stole a few of them. Yeah. I liked him in Master and Commander, Gladiator. I've enjoyed
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to Ken Ham, you guys.
No.
No.
I didn't know you were going to talk about that. That's just, we don't talk about those things on this channel. That's just not right.
Actually,
grabbing my pearls.
Australia Day, so the 26th for us, 25th for you guys in the States. We're actually doing the roast of Ken Ham.
How are you?
National apology to the US for sending Ken over.
So. See, that's wonderful. That's you owe us. I don't know. You've sent us so many of the good ones. We had to get a dud every now and then.
Yeah.
Did you hear that his Ark Encounter? There was a lot of damage because of
the flood,
and it leaked.
I might have. That was.
How many millions did that cost us? Oh,
too many.
Crow was born in New Zealand, so Joseph Blue is saying that Crow is a Kiwi. I think, is that what he's saying? Are those the fighting words he's saying?
No. It's like I said earlier. Whenever someone from New Zealand does something good, they're automatically Australian. So Russell Crowe is a great Australian actor and a Kiwi musician.
Oh, that's right. You said that exactly. That's right. Yeah. And now I understand it completely. I've completely wrapped my brain around it. I didn't understand.
He was born in New Zealand, but he's lived here since he was, about 2 years old, and he calls himself Australian. And occasionally we accept that. When he's throwing mobile phones, is New Zealand's problem. But when he's making great movies and winning Oscars, he's one of us.
Gotcha. So is Ken Ham a Kiwi, or is he an Australian? Because
he's Australian. He's from Adelaide.
But you don't deport him to Kiwi.
No, well, Ray Comfort is a Kiwi, so he's raised.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, Ray's a Kiwi. Yeah.
Man, well, you guys got the crazies, don't you? I mean, it's either really cool or really screwed up.
No, that's like saying an American.
Did they all escape from the same lab, or what?
No. He's from a completely unique lab all to himself.
The Banana Man.
Yeah, Ken Ham. He's kind of kicked out of half of the churches in Australia and tried to get his stuff up and running, and no one bought it here. And then he realised there was an active market of gullible people in the US who would. So
truth.
Now he's bought Noah's Ark.
Yes, he has.
Although we do have a crazy billionaire who was going to rebuild the Titanic here, so I guess maybe it is an Australian thing.
Later, Math Pig. Maybe it is. Has anybody told him we've got better ships now? There's better ones than the Titanic. It was cool. It was fun. It was nice, but there's better ones now.
Well, he was even going to. It was even to the point where everyone who went on the first trip, which was going to be from England to New York, you had to be in 1920s dress. They were going to have the exact, so third class was going to be third class, and it was going to be exact replica.
I'm curious about the lifeboats.
Yeah, I think they'd have to have some improvements there, but
surely
it never happened. He's our. I guess the best way to describe it, he's our Trump, but not as crazy. He's a billionaire who ran for parliament and kind of won out of nowhere, and now we've gotten rid of him. He's just a bit of a joke. So for those Aussies who know, I'm talking about Clive Palmer.
Hey, Atheist, don't knock it till you've tried it. That's all I'm saying. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
No king shame. No king shame.
No. Say that it's perfectly designed to go straight up the anus. It's been designed. Evidence of God.
Right.
There you go.
You know, the whole thing, if it wasn't designed by God, would this banana fit perfectly in my hand? Would my finger not fit perfectly in my nose? I understand. Yeah. I see their logic. If you want to call it logic.
He did do a video and took the piss out of himself and sort of said, hey, yep, I stuffed up here, although he used it as an evangelical tool. But I gave him credit there right up until the point where he started going after, and I didn't mind Ray, but when he started going after Dawkins, when Dawkins' mother passed away, it showed his true colours.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty crass, actually, but that's right. He's a Kiwi. We expect that.
So for a comment that Jen made, let me do this. Jen, I just wanted to share that with you. I got that for Jay yesterday. I thought you might like it. I don't. Does this work better? Let's go like this. There you go. There you go. Feel the love.
That's just wrong.
Feel the love.
That was like when I first heard it, but yeah, Gwyneth.
Yeah. Well, you know, I am willing to buy one of the candles as long as I'm able to confirm the scent is real.
I'm not.
You never know who's been there. I suspect a lot. Really, though, that you could just kind of get a sample of people, send it to almost anybody she's worked in a movie with, and go, does this work? Is this right? And they can tell you.
I don't know. Was she ever in any of Harvey Weinstein's movies?
I think she was. I would not be surprised. You know, that's what I've sort of thought. Can you go back through time and look at Harvey Weinstein's movies and go, that lead actress must have slept with him? That lead, you know, is that a real thing? Can you really do that?
That aren't getting roles anymore and have been very quiet on it. So
say that again.
So there's a few that don't get lead roles anymore that have been very quiet on the whole issue. So it's you can make of that what you will, but
right.
I mean, I think it's like we were talking before about, you know, Trump sleeping with a porn star. You know, billionaire sleeps with porn stars, like movie producer sleeps with actress. I don't see. The other stuff is obviously an issue, but
right.
You know, movie producer sleeps with actresses is not exactly breaking news.
No. Of course, and even I let you have that one. That's perfectly true. It's just whenever, like I said, whenever they start paying for it in ways that they're not supposed to with campaign funds. Now, in that particular case, though, dude's got money. Why does he got to do it like that? You know, why does he have to do it the wrong way? Why, you know, because he didn't want to spend his own money, I guess. Anyway, if you don't mind, let's not go down that road. There are more interesting things to talk about than Trump. He's getting enough airtime. Sorry, I'm just posting comments there. Oh, that didn't scare me at all. All right, so let me go ahead and close that. There we go. Yeah, so Atheist Christian has showed up.
I'm very happy that, you know, I think there's got to be a joke about an atheist pastor and an atheist Christian walk into a bar.
Yeah.
The bartender said you should have ducked.
Right. You know, this is the only time I've seen it happen where anytime anybody talks with you, it mutes you out. So, you know, normally you could hear both people talking at the same time, but for some reason, Chris does it.
When I talk, or is it just on Chris's side?
Jay, yes.
I don't know. Go ahead. I'm going to say something here. You go ahead and say something, Chris. Okay. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it cuts out when I'm talking too.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Normally I would. So anytime I interrupt you, I can't hear what you're saying. So if I'm being a jerk, I can't. That's my bad. But maybe it may be as simple as a reboot, brother. So no worries.
How do you get seems to be flying okay? So I'm not too concerned.
Okay. You know what I was going to do? I was going to look on Amazon and see if you could get a Gwyneth Paltrow flavored. Well, it depends on what you do with the candle, I guess.
Well, just like
a little waxy.
On.
Okay, let's go DWYN Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't see. Let's go there, and now let's go candle, and let's see if you can find them on Amazon. No, not the candles. There are some candles to wit you could make some of your own.
Oh, very nice.
If you wanted to, and you had the right.
I want to know how they get the actual smell right. Like, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
or I mean, how does it work?
Yeah. Who was there like a perfume tester who had to get down in her zone of pleasure and go?
And I mean, when are we talking? I mean, are we talking first thing in the morning?
Right.
Are we talking she's been on a jog for an hour? You know, are we talking
Post coitus?
Yeah,
what are we talking about here?
Well, because there's different.
But we really probably should move on from the juice de Gwyneth. So,
glad you said it. I was about to.
Just a thought. Well, it all came up the other day, and it's really Jay's fault. He brought it up on his show. Jen took it.
No. Raven's fault.
Oh, that's right.
So I have a
Raven meet bus.
My channel. Whenever something goes a bit pear shaped or something starts to go down a rabbit hole, it's either Jen or Jay. It's one of the two. One of the two.
Well,
he doesn't show up to mine, so Math Pig, what are you doing, man?
I was thinking of making a shirt on my Teespring where it just says "Damn it, Jen."
That's what we should do. I should make my own hashtag blame Math Pig shirt. That's mine, Math Pig. That's mine. Mm-hmm. You don't steal that. I'm watching you.
Actually, maybe
Jen says all the juicy stuff happens on Jay's channel.
I don't know. Friday night six pack gets a bit interesting after 4 hours.
after the alcohol has rotted your brain. Understood.
We always say it's only ever going to go for an hour or two, and it's. I think we almost hit 5 hours on the last one. So
wow,
it was messy. It was so messy.
Really, well, mine. I'll probably one of these days take this to an hour and a half or 2 hours. Yeah. Oftentimes we're sitting here in the middle of doing stuff and people still just showing up. Matter of fact, somebody just showed up a minute ago. Who was it? I saw him. The
last one I seen popped in was Atheist Christian.
Atheist Christian. But I thought somebody else showed up who, but nope, that's your channel. I don't know. Okay. I don't know who.
Nope,
somebody.
That's it. He's the new one.
I was like, well, yeah, there's the Google lover is here. Old Man Dan. We said hi to Old Man Dan. Old Man Dan is in the I see him in the chat of my videos. So we're getting close to the time. Real quick, if you want to, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Atheist Pastor, guys. If you don't know, check out Atheist Pastor's channel. He's got some stuff going on there. Subscribe, follow him on Twitter. I don't have all of your stuff. I do have your channel link down in the link below on the description.
Twitter's pretty easy. It's at atheist_pastor. Look, I always say to people, if you're struggling to get out of religion, if you've got some questions, if you're in religion, or even if you are religious and you want to try and save me, send me a message. I'm happy to have a conversation.
There you go. So yeah, that's what he's there for. His mission is to help those who need the help in the atheist community, especially a newly minted Glens. So if you're new to it, give him a call. Check out his channel though. Give him a subscribe. And then there's Jay. Once again, Jay is co-hosting with me from the In the Conspiracy channel. Give his stuff a look. He's got some funny stuff. I was watching some of it at work yesterday.
Oh, did you get into some of the hammer stuff?
Just a little bit. Yeah. Well, I've got a thing I was doing at work, setting up some new camera kind of things as part of the IT stuff, and I just had it going in the background, and it was pretty funny. It's pretty good stuff. So go check out Jay's stuff. Subscribe to his channel. Jay's going to be with me again tomorrow doing the morning show, co-hosting with me. We may have a guest on. I haven't had anybody yet say they wanted to be a guest, so we may have a guest on. I'm not sure. I might just drag somebody in. And then next week we're going to have Atheist Pastor. He's going to co-host with me for the next week. And what I think we may do is we may see about having Jay back possibly Tuesday. And I say that because Monday, like I said, will be more focused on you. So we can find out more about you and what you got going on. Really kind of focus on any of those kind of things. Make it a all Chris all day kind of show. But Tuesday we could have Jay back, so you two could discuss the Conor McGregor Cowboy outcome.
I'm thinking before we finish, we've got to work out some kind of wages. So I don't know. What can we do? What can we do?
I don't know.
Suggestions in the chat. Throw them out really quick. Because I think we're just about at the end of the show, but
or we'll still have tomorrow if you want to show up and you may be here tomorrow.
Well, we've got Friday night six pack, so
if you make them all.
And the fact that you're starting at what is midnight my time gives me a really good excuse to wrap it up early.
There
So
you
I might. Well, you'll see me in the chat.
There you go. At the very least, we'll see you at the chat. So then Jay will be here possibly, and then we can carry on this conversation and get our viewers to go ahead and come up with some kind of wager that you guys could.
Might even throw something out there on Twitter. We'll work it out. We'll work it out over the next 24 hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. All right, guys, thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you once again, Jay from the In the Conspiracy Channel, Chris, the Atheist Pastor. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here. Let me go here, and I am going to end our little broadcast. Again, tomorrow we will see you here. And, Jay, you're going to do your thing?
Yeah. Be water, my friends.
Y'all take care.